Hi everyone, thank you for joining me on this week's garden tour. There are so many fun things happening, so let's go ahead and take a look. Let's start here at the first cedar bed. Look at those potatoes. They are becoming trees. Eventually we're going to see blooms on them, and I can't wait until we get to harvest and see how many potatoes we have growing in there. Now, I don't know if you can see behind them. Our peas are starting to climb up the trellis, so they're learning what to do there. And then we have rosemary with some onions, oregano, and right here we have shallots. It's our first time growing shallots in the garden. If we get down close, right here, you see how there's 3 little side branches. That means each shallot clove that we planted broke off and created 3 little shallots. So some of these actually have 5 branches, some have 2, so it varies, but it's very exciting to see the harvest that we get for shallots this year. We have our thyme kind of cascading over the edge. It has started to bloom. That's okay. It won't change its flavor like other herbs that you don't want to bloom. And then we have cilantro with rosemary and chives. And then if we turn this way, we have our oregano. And look at how big these onions are. Look at how big these garlic are over here. And then if we walk up, this bed has our Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. Now, if you peek in right here, do you see them? We have beans sprouting. So hopefully those will get big and start climbing up this trellis as well. Our pear trees are looking fabulous. We seeded cucumbers in here, and at first I thought we weren't gonna get anything. And then this morning we came over and they all started to come up. And we have a couple right here starting to poke through too. So I can't wait to see how many cucumbers we get, and we're gonna definitely be pickling those this year. Look at this, asparagus started to fern out. Eventually this will have little white flowers, I believe. We didn't pick any asparagus this year because the first year you want to wait to next year. We can start picking a couple, and then it's the 3rd year where it's really going to start taking off. This is our first time growing horseradish. I realized that I think they're too close to the asparagus. So I think when we harvest it this year, which is you have to dig it up to harvest horseradish. So once we harvest it, we are gonna find another bed for it to go into. So that way the asparagus and the horseradish don't end up competing with each other. We have some strawberries growing and a strawberry bed with garlic over here. I'm gonna have to start netting these strawberries soon, or the squirrels are gonna beat us to them. This is more cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. I'm hoping that eventually we start to see heads forming on these. It doesn't look like our beans took over here. We'll give them a little more time to see if they come up. And then look at this potato. It actually, can you see that? It's starting to form flowers. So I think before too long, we will have potatoes to harvest. And then this pea, it knew its assignment. It said, oh, you want me up here? I can do that. And then if we go over here, this is our other garden bed zone. Over here in this garden bed, it's my first time ever planting this type of marigold. I'll zoom in on the tag here. And then behind it, we have peppers and tomatoes. Look at the marigold. It's just going to start drooping over the edge soon. Now this was our last bed planted, so it's behind some of our other tomato and pepper plant beds. But in this bed, we also have cucumbers. And of course, we have a little solar gadget trying to keep some of the chipmunks out of these garden beds. So far, it seems to be working as I don't see any new holes. I'm going to bring you over to this other zone. It's a little bit rocky terrain right now because we're still refining that whole area. So I will bring you down over there. In this garden bed, we have our peppers, which are just going right up along those stakes. Our onions seem to be drooping a little, but they just got watered, so I think they'll start sprouting up and recovering shortly. And then in the front here, we have some of our shorter, sweeter peppers and some basil that we started from seed. Now, if you can see these tomatoes, they are just weaving themselves right through this trellis. I was going to come and stake them, and I looked and thought, well, some of them, yes, need to be staked, and other ones seem to be staking themselves. This is the last of our vegetable garden beds. Yes, I do have a rock here. I have a chipmunk that keeps wanting to come up into this bed, and it keeps just digging around the rock. If you look on this side, I don't know if you can see it. Do you see that hole? It just wants to keep coming up. So I have this. In this bed, it doesn't seem really to be working. If you have any other tips on how to keep chipmunks out of your garden beds, let me know, please. I have some sprouts of nasturtium, so that's exciting. Can you see those starting to sprout out? Okay, everyone, that's it for today's garden tour. Like I said before, if you have any tips or tricks to keep chipmunks out of your garden beds, please drop a comment and let me know. See you next time.